Hola, and welcome to the Vineyard Underground podcast. This is your host and viticulturist, Fritz Westover, and we're going international today in this episode as we talk about growing grapes in Mexico, wine grapes in Mexico, hence the hola. So joining me today are Alexandro Eguiarte and Francisco Verastegui, who own and manage vineyards in Mexico. Now, Alexandro and Francisco are also both members of my virtual viticulture academy, so I've gotten to know them over the years and about their vineyards. And both of them are relatively early in their grape growing endeavors. So I thought it'd be interesting to get their perspectives. So I've gotten to know them and work with them. I'm thrilled to have them on the podcast today. So here we go. Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for hanging out with me today in the podcast.
Hello, Fritz. Thank you for the invitation. I'm very excited to be here.
Hey, Fritz, Alexandro, buenas tardes. Happy to be here. Sure we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you guys, by the way, ayúdame un poquito, por favor, when I pronounce stuff really bad in Spanish. You guys know about the limits of my Spanish. It's like a ground level vineyard worker, maybe. And even then, I think you've teased me before, Francisco, and I'm all about it. So I'm super excited about the episode because for most people, when they think about wine growing regions, they think about places like France or Italy or California, or maybe even Argentina or Australia. But Mexico has fast been becoming a notable wine growing region. So I can't wait to dig into the topic of Mexico with you today. And we're probably only going to scratch the surface. So as you guys know, I work with growers extensively in Texas and Arizona, just across the border. So I'm eager to hear how your sites compare to those sites. I'm sure we're going to see some similarities and definitely some differences. So let's just dig in. I've gotten to know both of you and learn about your vineyards over the past couple of years through Virtual Viticulture Academy. You guys always come with great questions, and I'm honored to be able to help you a little bit there, but I need your help today to learn more about your growing regions. So maybe you can share a bit about yourselves, your vineyards with the listener, maybe the vineyard name, location, the size, some varieties you grow, and how you got into wine growing. So I'll start with you, Alexandro.
Okay. Well, I'm actually a painter and designer by profession, and I was always interested in wine at an enthusiast level. But it was until I visited the California central part and the Santa Barbara County. I was visiting some friends, and I went to visit some wineries, and I had like an aha moment when I saw big paintings behind stainless steel fermentation tanks. And seeing, at the moment I was studying environmental engineering, and seeing both my passions in one room, just something clicked for me, really. And I started doing some research, really saw myself doing this for a living. And from then on, the passion started growing. And long story short, I was lucky to find in my hometown a upcoming project that trusted me with the management of the vineyard to establish it. I guess they saw my eager to learn, and really that put me in a position where I had to justify every decision. I had to research and justify timings, when to prune, when to irrigate, how much water to put in. And yeah, I was excited to be there, and I was excited to have that opportunity. The vineyard, it's named after its location. So the name is Viñedo Evangelista. It's located in San Lucas Evangelista, a small town, only 45 minutes south to Guadalajara, one of the main cities in the country, in Jalisco. It's a very interesting project because it's only 3.2 acres, but we have 7 different grape varieties. So we have Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Syrah, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Tempranillo, and Grenache. So half of them are on their third year and half on their second year.
What have you seen in the evolution of wine growing in the past 10 or even 20 years?
So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of influence in Parras, Coahuila, where I'm from, when it comes to winemaking. But really, it's transition, I would say, since 2000, where you saw a lot of growth within wineries. One of the main, I guess, growing up, right, I was more exposed to either beer or brandies. That was a big influence when it comes to alcoholic beverages, right? And like Alexandro said, Jalisco is big into tequila. So I think around like the mid '90s, you saw a big shift from drinking brandy and moved into tequila. And I did a little research and get some numbers. So the loss of grapes dedicated for brandy was reduced by 150,000 acres, right? When we shifted into tequila, and tequila grew so much, right? And today it's just really a big important economy for Mexico, right? So when it comes to grape growing, we had a lot of grapes that were more suited for brandy, but that shifted very quickly. So I think when it comes to my hometown, it's really the shift from macro wineries, right, or vineyards into more suitable, I would say, micro, right? Like mine is 25 acres. You can start like kind of looking into how to run a business, right? How to implement it without really having to go through all the investment that it takes to run a large winery.
Let's talk about the soil, the elevation, climate a little bit, because that's what's really gonna the listener is gonna think, okay, here's what my temperatures are during the growing season. Here's what my low temperatures are in the winter. Here's the kind of soil I have. Here, so let's dig into that a little bit. And Alexandro, I'll start with you since you're growing in an area that's a little less developed and lesser known.
Okay. So I would say the central area, or at least my area, is mainly characterized by sun. We have a lot of sun, a lot of heat waves, a lot of radiation. We do not have a problem reaching breach levels. So you've mentioned before frost problems. That's not our case. I mean, we are below this central region. So in Jalisco, known as we mentioned for tequila, but the vineyard is located at 1,500 meters above sea level. That's around 5,000 feet. We are in the end of a very important mountain slope called Cerro Viejo, which is a geological formation that raises up to 3,000 meters above sea level, which is 9,500 feet. So it's a pretty big and important volcanic area. Two mountain ranges converge in Jalisco, which makes it, as you can imagine, rich nutrient and rich in minerals soil. And talking about soil, we have a heavy clay soil with a vineyard underground basalt soil. No pun intended.
Nice. I see what you did there. I like it.
But as a fun fact, with this basalt soil, the area where the vineyard is known for artisans that grab this basalt rocks and they sculpt molcajete, which is a utensil used to make salsa, basically like a mortar and pestle. It's known for that. And well, regarding temperatures, the vineyard can go as low as 5 degrees Celsius at night in winter. That's our lowest temperature. And a maximum of 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, which will be above the 90s Fahrenheit. That would be in a summer peak around May or April. So I believe this sets up us good for making a full body red wine or a very interesting full body white wine too.
How's your labor situation in your region?
Well, so far we've also been lucky because the town where the vineyard is, the population is dedicated to agricultural practices. So besides from agave, there's also corn being grown in the area. So really our neighbors are corn growers. And we also pay well. We try to make a good relationship with the workers. We're really small now, so we rely on the presence of a few workers, and have been there since the beginning. So we have a good relationship with them. We try to train them as much as we can. We got in there not really knowing what we were doing, so we try to inform ourselves and try to pass all this knowledge to them constantly. And it's I've come across, I think that growing grapes is more of an HR job than really growing the grapes. You go into human resources more than actually into the field. So we're constantly talking to them and seeing them that they're feeling well at their job, and really letting them know that what they're doing is important for the quality of the product that we're trying to do, and informing them of how the market is and letting them know where they work.
Yeah, I think you both make a great point, though. Training the workers and retaining those workers that you train is critical. So you're not always retraining and running in a hamster wheel in terms of progress and knowledge of your group. So those are all good advantages.